Okay, so let's talk about the Apple Vision Pro. It has been one of the most talked about, most hyped up pieces of tech in years. You've definitely seen the memes, and you've definitely seen that eye-watering price tag. Apple's calling it the beginning of a whole new thing, spatial computing. But once you get past all the slick marketing, what's it actually like to use this thing? Is it really the future, or is it just a very, very expensive first draft? Let's get into it.
I think this quote from MKBHD just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures the weird situation the Vision Pro is in. On one hand, it's the best thing he's ever tried. On the other hand, he can't recommend it. That's some serious praise and a major warning, all in one sentence. And that's really the core of what we're going to unpack here. The mind-blowing tech versus the kind of harsh reality of a version 1 product.
So before we dive into any of the problems of the trade-offs, and trust me, there are trade-offs, you have to understand the experience Apple has managed to create. Because honestly, in a lot of ways, it feels like straight-up magic. It's a real, genuine peek at what computing might look like for all of us down the road.
At the heart of all this is this big idea Apple keeps talking about, spatial computing. So what is it? Well, the goal is basically to free our apps from the little flat screens on our phones and computers. Just imagine, right? Your web browser is just floating there next to your lamp, or a movie screen takes up your entire living room wall, and you can still see everything in your room. That's the dream they're selling.
Okay, so a definition is one thing, but what does it actually feel like when you put this thing on for the very first time? Well, that whole experience really comes down to a few key features that are so good they honestly feel like witchcraft. First up is the video pass-through. That's how you see the real world through the headset's cameras. And it is shockingly good. I mean, it's so clear and so fast that you almost forget you're looking at a screen. Then there's how you control it. There are no controllers. It's just your eyes and your hands. You literally look at an app to highlight it, and then you just tap your fingers together to click. It's so natural it feels like you have superpowers. And finally, watching stuff on this thing, wow. The screens are so incredibly sharp, and the audio sounds like it's coming from all around you. It is just like having your own personal IMAX theater. So how in the world does Apple pull off this magic trick? Well, it all comes down to a ridiculous amount of engineering. The hardware packed inside this thing is what really gives it the Pro name. The power behind it all is this custom dual-chip system. So it's got an M2 chip, which is the same powerful chip you'd find in a MacBook, and that runs all the software. But the real secret sauce is this brand new R1 chip. Its only job, its entire reason for existing, is to process all the information from the cameras and sensors with virtually no delay. That R1 chip is the reason everything feels so real and so instantaneous. It kills the lag.
And the rest of the hardware is just as wild. We're talking a beautifully curved piece of glass on the front, an aluminum frame, carbon fiber arms, and then they packed in a dozen cameras, 5 other sensors, 6 microphones, and 2 displays, each the size of a postage stamp, that have more pixels than a 4K TV. It's just an absolutely insane amount of technology to strap to your face.
And of course, all of that amazing cutting-edge technology, it comes with an equally cutting-edge price, $3,500. And that's before you even add tax or any prescription lenses you might need. Yeah, there's no question about it. This is a seriously premium, professional-level piece of kit.
And this is where that amazing glimpse of the future runs headfirst into the hard reality of a version 1.0 product. Because for all of its magic, the Vision Pro is built on some major compromises. Now, if you followed Apple for a while, this probably sounds familiar, right? They launch a revolutionary new thing that's more about setting up the future than being a perfect product for today. So yeah, it's time for that reality check.
Let's start with personas. So the promise was these super lifelike digital versions of you for FaceTime calls. The reality? They're pretty unsettling. The tech behind it is impressive for sure, but these digital avatars are parked deep in the uncanny valley. You know, that creepy place where something looks almost human but just isn't quite right? It's just eerie.
This little timeline basically sums up what it's like to use it for the first time. You start with just pure jaw-on-the-floor amazement, but all that glass and metal packed on the front of the device, it has a cost. After about 30 minutes, you start to really feel the weight, the pressure on your face. And by the 2-hour mark, not only are you feeling it, but that external battery you have to carry around is probably dead.
And the list of trade-offs doesn't stop there. The field of view, while it's super clear, kind of feels like you're looking through a pair of binoculars. That great video pass-through, it can get pretty blurry if you turn your head too fast. And maybe the biggest thing, even though you can see a room, it can be a really isolating experience, both for you and for the people who are in the room with you.
So when you put it all together, you've got the mind-blowing magic on one side and the heavy, expensive, isolating reality on the other. It brings us to the most important question of all. Who on earth is supposed to buy this thing right now?
So who is this for? Well, at this moment, the answer is pretty simple. It's probably not for you. It's for two very specific groups of people. First, developers, the people who are going to build the apps that will define this platform. And second, those super hardcore early adopters, the ones with a lot of extra cash who just have to own the future today. For literally everyone else, the advice is pretty clear. Wait. Wait for version 2 or version 3.
And that really gets to the heart of it. The Apple Vision Pro is, without a doubt, a phenomenal piece of technology. It has set a brand new bar for what is even possible in this space. But just having a bunch of incredible tech all mashed together doesn't automatically make for an incredible product that normal people can use and enjoy. And right now, the Vision Pro just isn't that product. Which leaves us with a huge, lingering question about its future. Is this the very first step towards something that will become as massive and as world-changing as the iPhone was? Or is it a beautiful, technically brilliant, but ultimately niche device that's destined to be remembered as a fascinating but flawed experiment, kind of like Google Glass? I guess only time will tell.